So if I knew this one tip much sooner, I'd probably be in a different place in life. Not to say I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but yeah, I'd probably be in a different place right now. If you take on this tip, you're probably not going to be running in circles the same way that I did with the same scenarios. Welcome to the Man from Dust YouTube channel. My name is Steven. I'm on this journey to uncover, recover, and discover the tips, tricks, and tools on how to live a life more abundantly. And it's been a great journey so far. I'm really going back in time and revisiting some of the things that I've experienced, trying to find what can I gain from going back in the past, right? Really trying to figure out what are the things that I learned in history from making mistakes and just riding through life as an experience. So my most productive method for streamlining pretty much your entire life is really just doing your research. Yeah, it's that simple. Just do your research. So whatever concept you're talking about, just going deeper into why you're doing it or how you're going to do it can save you so much time. So I'm going to give you 3 examples of what that can look like if you just do your research from the front end, and that investment saves you so much time in the long run. So example 1 is going to be about career path. So really when it comes to your career path, you want to find your interests and motivations. Are you interested in seeing how cars work, how systems in place work, nutrition, wellness, finance, business? What are the things that interest you? After that, you can figure out what your lifestyle currently is, and then what you want your lifestyle to be later on. So I know for me right now, my lifestyle, I need to be able to take into account the fact that we have 2 kids and they're really young, so I need to figure out what that looks like. Can't be doing full-time work and expect to still be able to support the family in the way that I want to right now. So part-time work is probably the best thing for me right now, and that can change, and that's why you need to consider what you're going to want to be in place later on. So I know later on I kind of want to keep the part-time lifestyle, but then also have businesses on the side. So what can that look like? Well, I can't be a surgeon, right? I can't be a brain surgeon doing 90 to 100-hour work weeks. That just doesn't make sense for my lifestyle, the one that I want to have later on. So that kind of dictates how many options that I do have later on. After that, you can do what Ali Abdaal says. He talks about what's your unfair advantage. It's not something that is easily replicable, right? It's something that not everybody can do and not everybody has the experience of doing. And with that being the case, what is that thing that sets you apart from everybody else, or most everybody else? So an example would be if you, at a young age, really loved artwork, physical arts, and so you decided that you wanted to take 200 hours of painting class for the first 3 years of elementary school and then continued through middle school and high school. Well, your understanding of color theory and depth and perspective and visualization of art is probably going to be an unfair advantage for you. Not many people have that kind of experience. Not many people can use that the way that you do. So use that to your advantage. So to give you another example, we can talk about wellness goals. So you would do the research and try to figure out what your goals are, right? So if you say I want to be at 7% body fat because I want to be able to do a bodybuilding competition, I know I need to be lean. Well, that can save you a lot of time in the long run from eating the wrong things or making poor choices with that goal in mind. You're not going to always want to do bulking seasons for the entirety of the year. Like you need to learn how to do a dedicated cut. Question number 2 you can ask yourself is, what do I enjoy? So to take away the bodybuilding example, if you say I love to go cross-country running, like I just love running long distances. It's just something that allows me to get to a state of like a flow state. I get to flow state when I run after 10 miles, and I just love that feeling. So if you keep that in mind, then you can say to yourself, I'm not going to want to be doing track running. I don't want to be on the track for 3-4 hours just running miles and miles and miles. It just feels boring. So how can I achieve what I want to do, which is I want to do long distance running while keeping it fun? Well, maybe I can, instead of going on the track, I can look for trails around where I live, or I can try to find maybe a running club who has a route that they go on regularly as a team, and then they run 3 times a week, and you start meeting people, and that motivates you. Third thing you can ask yourself with that in mind, as far as fitness goals or wellness goals. It's what are my stumbling blocks. So if you say to yourself, I'm a huge binge watcher of, I don't know, anime on Friday nights, and I just have to have a bag of chips with me, and that bag of chips is also gone at the end of Friday night, guilty of that, then you need to keep in mind the first two options. Okay, I love long distance running, and what are my goals? Well, if you're doing the long distance running, okay, I want to decrease my mile time, and then I also want to decrease my pace but keep my heart rate below a certain heart rate. Then you'll probably need to focus on your nutrition a little bit more. You can't just be scarfing down the Lay's chips that you picked up the night before, the night of. So to give you another example, that would be relationships, in my opinion. So asking yourself, what are the end goals for this particular relationship that I'm referring to? And this could be a romantic relationship, or it could be like a communal relationship, or even a business relationship, right? All relationships kind of fit this mold. What is my goal at the end of this? What are the goals for this relationship at the pinnacle of where I see us ending up? So if I say that in my romantic relationship, I want to get married to said person, then that needs to keep you from encouraging other romantic relationships in the meantime. And we can stay on the marriage track. And the next point that I would probably use as a point of contention is what other relationships might be conflicting with this one. So I know I said this can work for literally every other relationship. And this is just doing the research and figuring out after I figure out what I want this relationship to end up as. Well, if I'm encouraging another relationship on the side that also has the potential to be romantic, then that's going to conflict with me saying, okay, well, I want to get married to this person. We're not doing polygamy here. That's not what we do. And after that, you can ask yourself, am I willing to make the sacrifice? Am I willing to make sacrifices to see this relationship benefit the way that I want it to make sure it ends up at the end goal that I talked about in the first line item? Am I willing to give up other relationships? Am I willing to give up my time in certain aspects? Am I willing to do stuff for this person that I said I wasn't necessarily open to doing before, but I'm willing to do it because this person needs me or wants me to do it? At the end of the day, there's going to be trade-offs, right? Every experience that you have, every thing that you choose between is just a matter of trade-offs. Are they more beneficial or detrimental to you as far as the net trade-offs is what we're looking for. So in making that decision and having the trade-offs, are they worth it to you? That's something you have to ask for yourself. And that's in every relationship, like I said. So business relationships, I want to be, making this MRR later. And with that being the case, I need to make sure that I'm not encouraging spreading our resources too thin, and taking the right steps to make sure that we are meeting our quarterly goals in the short term so that we can end up where we want to be in the long term. And what does that look like? Well, we have to sacrifice doing some of these other ventures to make sure that we're really feeding into our audience the right way before we start to expand on it. So again, these are just some examples, but I think it goes to show that just doing your research on the front end can save you so much time in the long run. And I had to deal with that initially. You okay, man? Sorry, somebody just fell. But yeah, these are just some examples. You can apply this logic to every other situation or topic that you come across. And just by doing the research on the front end, it's like taking a small amount of money in the beginning and then investing it, and then you see the dividends in the long run. If you do it in the beginning, then you'll get the return later on. And it'll be much larger than if you try to figure it out as you go. And there are cases where that can be the case, like you need to figure it out as you go, but also if you just take the time on the front end sometimes to do the research, you'll see much more benefit. So yeah, at the end of the day, doing the research, that's really the biggest thing that you can do, in my opinion, to save yourself so much time. Whether that's relationships, finance, business decisions, career path, kids, marriage, health choices, lifestyle. Like there's so many other things we could talk about, but it just fits every other scenario. Just doing the research is the biggest thing. So yeah, please leave a like if you found this video helpful. If you do, I really appreciate it, and I guess I'll see you all in the next video.